Hello everyone, this is Yogesh from Women Today YouTube channel. So in this channel, we have been concentrating on different women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India. We are just traveling to different cities and we are doing offline interviews across different cities in India. And we are also doing online interviews across different cities in India and also across different countries in the world. So today's our guest is from Bangalore and her name is Kashish Sandhu. She is the founder of Mindful Parenting Circle, and she is a teen parenting coach, helping moms build a strong bonds, an author and a certified educator. So I welcome you, Kashish Sandhu ma'am, to this Women Today YouTube channel. So please kindly introduce about yourself, about the kind of work that you're doing to the audience who are watching this interview right now, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me in such a warm way. And I am Kashish Sandhu. I am a parenting coach. Especially, I am working for the women who is teen mothers. And I am a certified early childhood educator and a parenting coach. I did my diploma from IMTC, doing my early childhood education. And to be honest, my journey about parenting is related to me only. It is because of my own experience as a mom. I am a mother of two beautiful children, and elder one is 10-year-old, younger one is 5-year-old. So elder one was quite comfortable, but the younger one was so hyperactive, so much aggressiveness was there, and he was beating in the school. So much complaints were coming, and then I started, okay, I'll work on him. So I finished my certification in 2016, but I never used it as for social cause, like to help others. But I worked on my children, and then I thought of while I was working on my younger child, and it was so difficult. It took me lots of effort. It took lots of effort for me to understand how I can handle him, how I can means how he can reach to the milestone what is required at that particular age. Because if you are not understanding, if you are not learning below 6 year, it will be very difficult, because this is the window. 1 year to 6 year is very important window. So I worked on him, and it was so amazing, and he learned very well. So I thought of, okay, where I will use my skills, at least I should help the mother who is like me and looking for help. Maybe their children are also hyperactive. Maybe they are facing so many issues. They don't know how to handle these situations. So I started my YouTube channel and my Facebook and Insta account. But later I thought of, okay, I have to go for a professional platform. So I got a mentor, that is Siddharth Rashekar. So from there I got everything, like how to go further, how to do webinar, how to make your online school. Now I have my own personal online school for mothers, where I am working with them. I am making communities of like-minded people, like who is having same kind of problem, or maybe they have same kind of niche, like I have a parenting niche. So now I am certified in early childhood education, means I help children who are from 0 to 6 year old. But I chose to be teen parenting, and I studied a lot, lots of book, lots of small courses I did. And why I chose that teen parenting, because I know I can do 0 to 6 year. I have lots of knowledge because of my Montessori course. But later my children are entering into teen, so I need to study about it, and I need to understand how can I help my children in a better way at the right time, so that I'll not miss any milestone, how to handle their tantrum, how to deal with their situations where they are lacking or everything. That's why I chose my niche as a teen parenting coach. But I am helping of 0 to 6 year also, teen mother also, teen children also, and the relationship of husband and wife, which is very important. Because if your house is having a cozy environment, an environment where children can learn, this is very important. The one thing which you can make your children with the environment only. So if husband and wife are fighting and they don't have good relationship, or the other people in the house, then also it is very much problem for children's emotional and mental health. So I sometimes counsel them also, so that they cannot affect negatively to their children. So this is how I work, and I am making community, and my target is to be like making a community where 10,000 minimum women should be there, and they discuss their problem. They can uh, tell their experience, and we all share it together. So this is what about me, and my mission is related to this, to help people and making their parenting journey easy.
That's a great, elaborate kind of questions and answers that you have actually given with yourself, man. So, kind of, yeah, your son, I do not want to mention and phrase in this way that it's not good to be hyperactive. Of course, kids are like that. Kids are just built in that way. Of course, each and every kid, if they have a kind of very enthusiastic mode, then they can just make sure that they're in the kid mode. Of course, kids should do that. Only then they are just recognized as a kid. If they're finding themselves to be in a state where they feel more matured, like consider a 4 or a 3-year kid. If they are speaking like a matured person, then it will not be looking like as a you're talking to a kid. So basically, the best thing which we can do as a parent, as a parenting coach, we can just shape them in a way that they actually use this kind of enthusiastic mode in the right way. So right now you are shaping the future of the kids. You are shaping the parents' life and the kids' generation in such a way that it will be helpful to the society. I do want to phrase it in that way. So that's the main goal of a parenting coach, utilizing the energy of the kids. Of course, each and every kids, they will be in a hyperactive mode because they have a lot of energy. When we actually grow and our age just goes like in the teenage, like middle age, we just lose our energy and we just go in a very calm monk mode. So I think the best way to phrase is, being a parenting coach, you're actually helping the kids to actually utilize the energy in a very right way. So I just want to frame it in this way, ma'am. So also tell us, ma'am, so being a parenting coach, there will be a lot of kind of things that we have to kind of go into the frequency of the kids, because only when we talk in that frequency, they will be able to understand. So tell us, ma'am, how can parents build trust and strengthen their bond with the teenagers? Because parents will be in their older generation and kids, they're right now in the Gen Z generation. So there is a common wavelength, common frequency that they parents should connect. So then only they will be able to kind of understand and they will be giving their full effort to kind of upbring their child. So tell us, how can one parents build trust and strengthen their bond with the teenagers, ma'am?
Let me clear first the hyperactive thing which you told. The active doesn't mean in a negative way. The child who is hyperactive and having lots of energy, those children will grow very they will be the successful children in this world now, because the world is very different, and it is full of overwhelmed with the information. We are sandwich parents. Earlier it used to be happen in a different way at our time, and now it is happening in a different way. Children want something and our old parents want something. So this is how, if the child is hyperactive, it doesn't means that everyone should take it in a negative way. Hyperactive means that he has lots of energy, and parents should know how to utilize that nobody should take it in a negative terms. And secondly, to connect with the children, to make the strong bond with the teenager, because I am getting so many cases where children are not listening, slamming the door, they are not talking to the parents, they want independence, and they don't want to go out with the parents, or they are sometimes sitting alone and they don't want to even discuss with the parents. This is not happening a one day game. It is from the beginning, when the child is born, how you created the bond with your child, that will reflect in their teenage. So that's why I always tell parents, you have to have a strong connection with your child when they are young, they are small, 0 to 6 years. So I use one terms when I tell that is love. So love means you have to listen to your children when they are speaking without doubt. This is the one of the most important things that parents are not listening. Whenever child is telling something, they just try to give the solution immediately, and they just try to react immediately. They don't listen them fully. We should listen our children fully, and then we will give our opinion. Second thing, you have to observe, you have to pause and notice what is happening around, why your child is behaving like this, why he is not able to catch the things which other children are doing, and what is the reason why his behavior is changed now when however he was earlier very good. For example, I'm getting such cases like my child was very intelligent till 6th standard, and in 8th standard he is not getting any interest in study and all. Why? You should find out the reason yourself as a parents. It is our responsibility. Third thing, sometimes we suppress their feeling, so we don't validate. So in when they become teen, they don't tell you, and whenever they are in depression or stress or anxiety something, they don't have word to tell, how to tell. So in the beginning of their life, if you are telling it's okay to cry, it's okay to laugh, or it's okay to be angry on the which is required, name the emotion, let them understand these emotions are okay and anybody can have that emotion. But parents, what they are doing, they're saying don't cry like a girl, don't you are smart enough, and you should be strong enough. If they are falling down and if they are crying, it's okay to cry because it hurts for them. So rather than suppressing their emotions, you should give the name to the feeling. And then whenever they are telling or something is happening, you should be very much empathetic. Means you should understand, putting yourself into their shoes, that it can happen with anyone. So this is very important things. If you are using this love method, listen, observe, validate, and be empathetic to them, then definitely your child will have a strong connection with you. They will trust you. For example, your child came to you and he's saying that somebody hurt him, and without saying, you are saying, why did you do that? You only have done this thing. I know maybe you have done something wrong. Instead of that, you should listen to your child properly and the other person also. Then also you come to the conclusion. Because if we are not trusting on our children, they will not trust on us. And when it happens again and again, then children lose the trust and they don't talk to the parents, and they think that if I'll go to my parents, they will definitely judge me. So you should not judge your children. So this is the most important thing. You can create a very nice connection with your child and they will start trusting you. Your child should have such kind of trust. Let me tell you one simple things. I went to a child's school and there was a trip, and he came back from the trip and we sat in the car and I asked him, how was your day? He said it was okay. So I thought, oh, yeah, I have asked maybe the wrong question. And later he said, and later I changed my question. I said, I saw your pictures. You were sitting on that long road. What was that? Can you tell me? And then the whole time, 45 minutes it took me to home. Come to us talking, this one happened, this child did that, and everything he told. My main motive is to understand the child, what is happening in his life and how it is going. The main thing where parents are lacking, as per me, that they are not talking to their children. Whenever they are getting time or they are feeling that children are disturbing, they give tablet, they give phone, and it's okay. So sometimes children are telling and they say, don't talk to me, I am very much busy. Don't disturb me. Can't you see I am working? You should give pause and tell, dear child, I am busy. Can you talk to me after 5 minutes? Or is it really urgent? You should reframe, rewire their brain in the different way. In this way, you can create a strong connection, as per me, what I understood.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
do. Yeah, that's a that whatever we kids telling, we should have a love and affection towards them. We should try to understand them. So that's the best way which we can actually kind of have a good communication. So consider, ma'am, there is a situation where is there a lot of conflicts and there is a lot of disagreements with our teenage kids. Of course, there is a lot of changes in the happening world. So there will be a lot of conflicts happening with our parents, like the teenagers and the parents. And there will be a lot of disagreements. Whatever you tell, the kids won't agree. They'll be having their own kind of terms and conditions in which they have to lead their life. So tell us, how will you actually solve these kind of conflicts and disagreements with your teenagers?
Yeah. To be very honest, fighting with children, fighting with teens, this will come in a KRA of your parenting. It is your job description that it will happen. Anyhow, if you're a good parent, you're a bad parent, they will fight, they will test their limit, they will try to do their own things. Whatever is happening, they are just testing the boundaries. Till what level we can go. And it is we as parents, we need to understand how we have to handle this, whether we have to get into this or not, whether we have to argue or just be silent, listen to them and pause. If we are silently listen to them and pause, for example, if your child is angry for something and he is arguing, why you did not do this for me? And you are also saying, why should I do this? You did not study. I told you to study and you are not studying. So we are at the same platform. But I am saying, okay, what happened? Can you tell me why are you so angry? Is there something happening? Because children will not be angry without any reason. There is something, maybe some stress, maybe some anxiety, maybe something they want to hide, or maybe something happen outside and they don't want to tell you because they don't trust you, because you will judge them. So for this, I use some technique which is really, like it should be very clear. Like whenever your child is talking to you, you should be chill and listen to him very calmly. Till the time they are not cool, you should give pause, count till 10 to 1, and try to ask in a polite manner. You should not be like fire. You should not fight with fire with fire. If your child is angry, you are also angry. It will not going to end. Anyone has to be calmer. So being a parent, we should be calmer. First, we need to change ourselves, then children. Second, we have to listen them first. Rather than they will say a word and we think that this is something problematic he is saying, immediately we start telling, no, this happens like this happened because of you, because you did not do homework or something. We give our opinion to them without listening fully to them. So it is very important, if your child is talking, listen to him carefully. Sometimes I do listen to my child 20 minutes and I give 5 minute solution, and this is very important and effective way to handle this kind of conflicts. When your child is arguing with you, he is giving his opinion, or maybe he is trying to overrule. So sometimes slowly they will understand. See, parenting is not one day game. You have to be like, every day you have to learn, unlearn things. You will learn from the children also, you will learn from the society also, you will learn from other mothers also. So third thing you have to remember, that you should be empathized. Means empathy should be very important. When your child is telling, you should understand, if it happens with me, what I'll do, what can be the consequences and everything. Sometimes we don't think as a parents, we think that this you have to do. For example, any social science project, my child is not understanding and every day teacher is scolding him, and the child is coming and telling, teacher is scolding me, I'm not able to do. So whose mistake is this? It is our responsibility to help our children when they are not able to do something. Because we cannot focus that, okay, we have given the fee and the school will have all this situation. So our main thing is, our child should be emotionally and mentally strong and physically strong. So if these three things, emotionally, mentally and physically, is there, education will be secondary thing. It will come definitely, because if some mindset is correct, they will definitely study. So this is also very important. Fourth important thing, you should allow them to give the choices. For example, sometimes we said, no, you have to go for cricket, you have to play because I want that. You have to become doctor because I want that, because I couldn't, I wanted to be doctor, the situation was not like that. Now you become doctor. So we always pull our things, we always push them to do what we want, and not, we are not listening to them. So allow them, and allow them so that they can take their choices. And if there is a conflict between you and the child, give them two choices. For example, he is asking for that, I want junk food today. Okay, so you can tell, for example, I have given a choice that only Saturday you can have junk food and game. So if we are not giving that option also to the children, then they will start lying to us. They will go out and eat with their friends, and when they become elder, they have that habit of lying. It will become lie, because my mother doesn't allow me. So whenever I'll get chance, I'll do that. So rather than doing that, you should allow your children, give them choices that yes, Monday to Friday we will eat healthy food, but on Saturday you can have your choice of junk food so that your child will not cry and they will not ask other children or other parents, or in somebody's house if they are going, they are eating junk food or something and they are lying at home. Lying start from home only because parents give such kind of condition to them. And last, which is R, you should respect his opinion also. You should be, whether you are agreeing or not agreeing on that, you should respect. Yes, you are saying right, but you can do in this way. Let's try this way also. You cannot say no, you are completely wrong. If we are saying no to everything, children will resist. So every time when there is a conflict, give them two type of choices, and you can ask them to do what you want, but in a different way, just rewiring their brain in a different way. That's all.
It's a very simple tactics. Either you give this or you give that. Otherwise, they start lying and they'll be
Yes,
keep to you lying till the end of their life. That's a very constructive way in which picture
it
actually.
happens.
Yes, you are.
Yes. You should always ask open-ended question, because sometimes these days children are very arrogant. Also, like what they do, they just they want their type of cloth. If the cloth is there, no, I don't want to wear that. Don't give them that choices. Just say this is the shirt, this is the shirt. Which one you want? Give them two choices which you want to be perfectly, means he has to do. The similar way, if you want to study right now or you want to study 6 o'clock, you want to study now or you want to go play and after that you will study. So if you are saying no, study right now, then only you can do this, children will become like, okay, no, they will become rebel. No, I will not do that. But if you are giving choice, okay, you want to play half an hour and then you study, or you want to study first and then do these things. Many parents are struggling in homework, and I don't feel till now that I my child is not doing homework, because every time I give him two choices: you want to study now or you want to go outside and play for half an hour and study. I don't over means burden them with the tuitions and everything. It should many parents think ABC, this also he should learn, this also he should learn. So many games, so many studies, so many tuition they are putting. This is overburden on the children. You are just doing cruelty with the children. You should not do that. So one physical activity game is important, and study is important, and their emotional health is very important. Some children are not sleeping also. Their eyes are having such small black here. So when I asked, no, I slept at 12 o'clock, got up at 6 or 5:30. So parents are not at all thinking. The first thing they should know that sleeping is very important. I have heard so many heart attacks are also coming because of lack of sleep for the small children. I'm reading so many news in that. So it is very important. As per me, as a parenting coach, I always say study is secondary. Children will do that if their mental and emotional and physical health is perfectly fine. They will definitely do that. But don't focus on that. You just focus on their emotional health, because later it is very important.
Yeah, that's a very simple thing. In between, you told that people are lacking sleep because of which they are getting heart attacks at the younger age. It's of course true, because the scientific reason behind it, consider we're just sleeping at 12 p.m. and I mean like 12 a.m. in the midnight, and we are waking again to go to office or go to school at 6 or 7 a.m. Our brain will be working in such a condition that okay, it's not sleeping, because it will be activated, and in our subconscious mind it will be telling that okay, we have to wake up at 8 or we have to wake up at 6 a.m. So it's like irregular sleep, and also at the same time we are not able to get a full sleep. Of course, our brain is working in the subconscious level. So because of it, our brain is working, our heart is working, everything doesn't have enough time to sleep, enough time to rest, and at one point of time it burst out, so in the form of heart attack or something like that. So we should actually teach this mainly to the kids, because as you told that kids are spending most of the time in electronic gadgets still. Of course, we actually, as during our early time, that during the 1990s, we do have only TVs, like televisions. Other than that, we don't have anything. So right now, iPad came, and laptops came, smart TVs came. Wherever you go, there will be gadgets with you. And of course, internet plays a very vital role, because whatever we need to see, we can just see via internet at a very point of fingers, like something like that. So I think there is enough time. I mean, even consider if you're going outdoors. Before 20 years, there every restaurants will be closed at maximum 10 or 11. But right now, midnights shops are open and they're just functioning till the morning. So it's like the world is totally different. So I think proper sleep is very much important in order to grow your kids. That's a very vital message which you told via this interview, ma'am. So also tell us, ma'am, there is a term called mindful parenting. So tell us, ma'am, what do you mean by mindful parenting and how can it actually help with the families, ma'am?
Yeah, parents always think that discipline and juggling with work and if I am telling everything to the child, give him responsibilities, this is what mindful parenting. But as per me, mindful parenting is just be present. Your children don't need to be a perfect parent. They don't need a rich parent. They want a parent who is present parent and spending time with them. And I think you also know that this is the time where the IT jobs are like that. They take so much of hour of yours that you are not able to spend time with your child. So it is very important. At least two husband and wife out of two, if one is spending lots of time with the children and the other one is giving 15-20 minutes or 1 hour also, that is sufficient. So mindful parenting is a present parenting where your children will understand that there is someone where I'll go. I can tell anything. There will be no judgment. There will be no punishment. If I'll go and if I am on the wrong side also, they will understand me because there is something wrong. That's only he has done wrong. For example, I'll tell you one thing. I have told my children, do not fight with anyone. Do not start the fight. But if someone is starting the fight, don't be coward. Tell them 2 times that do not do this, do not do this. Give them 2 warning. After that, you can beat them. No problem. Come to me. Because I don't want my children to be like, they always come to me, XYZ has beaten me, and go and talk to them. Go and beat them or something. I want them to be independent. If I'm not in this world also, they should be independent enough that do not do wrong with anyone and do not listen wrong from anyone. Give them warning. Do not do it initially. Give them 2-3 warning. Don't do this. I'll do that. So if they are not doing that, then you should teach your children all the things where they will become independent emotionally, physically, and mentally. He should be physically strong, so eating habit should be very good. He should be emotionally strong, so emotionally how they will be strong? If the parents are emotionally strong, they are doing everything whatever they want their children to learn, because children mind is absorbent mind. Whatever you do around them, they will just absorb like a cotton you put in a water. So Maria Montessori always say that children mind are observant mind, and if you want your children to learn something, just do that. If your child is not learning, it is not his fault, it is your fault as a parent. So mindful parenting is to understand parenting deeply and finding out your fault also, so that you are not saying my child is arrogant, my child is hyperactive, or my child is not able to do that. Why? Because you are not able to give the environment to your child. So what you have to do with your child, when you are talking to your child, you should listen to your child properly by a pause and breathe method. Because if your child is telling you something, if it is aggressive also something, you just give a pause, take a breath, and then understand that and then respond. Because it will calm down. Have you seen sometime if somebody is fighting with you, if you are pausing, talking later, you will be very calm and talking to them. If aggressively you are talking at the same time you are answering, you even don't know what you are speaking, because your brain is not able to think what to say. Your heart is overtaking your brain. So you have to pause, use the pause and breathe technique. That is, I'm telling you what mindful parenting techniques are, what we are using. First, pause and breathe technique. Second, we is very important. You should be fully present to your child. See, if you are not giving time to our children in the early age, I'm telling you 100%, in your old age, they will not talk to you. If you are saying, you are sitting on a computer and saying, don't talk to me, can't you see I'm in a meeting? You can pause the meeting. It is not that important. You can say, yeah, tell me, is it really important that I should talk right now? Or can we talk later? Give importance to your child, then only they will give you importance. I have seen many old people. My child is not talking to me. He changed after marriage. This has happened, that has happened. Why? Did you give time? Analyze yourself. Sometimes sit, have a cup of coffee and analyze yourself. What you are doing for your children, so they will listen to you. It happens with my child. Elder child is 9 years, almost 10 he'll go. My and his relationship is like he never wanted to listen to me sometime. But I don't lose my patience then also. I also try, okay, I understand you. It is very difficult for parents because how much we can understand, but we have to sometimes pretend also. So, and when they are losing somewhere or getting less marks, you should not say that, why did you get less marks? Why he is doing, the other person is taking. Do not compare your child with anyone. This is also very important because these days parents want everything to be done. Olympiad first, class first, everywhere he should be first. How? Everyone can't be first. So you should be like, your child should have a good emotional and mental health, and then okay, education is fine, everyone will do great. Because this era, information is overwhelmed. Earlier we used to ask from our parents how to do this homework. Now they can understand themselves. They have lots of information, they don't need us. So how you make the connection? Just by these mindful parenting techniques. Third, you have to do practice gratitude. Sometimes no, parents don't say sorry. They feel shame that I'm so big, how can I say sorry? But if you are at mistake, say sorry. No, what is the problem? He is your child. I'm sorry, I have done this. If you are saying your child will also learn, then when we are doing mistake, then we have to say sorry. Or if we are hurting someone, we should say sorry. And your child will learn. We should learn from mistake rather than thinking, oh, mistake has happened, I am not a good person. Those who do mistake, they will only learn and they will become successful person. Today I am doing my coaching business. When I started it, I was doing so much mistake. My recording was not good. My videos were not coming nicely. And when my mentor asked me, okay, I'll check your courses which I created for women, that was, my video was this side, my audio was this side, and then I was not able to do that. So mistakes are the part of what you are doing. So you have to tell this to your children, how your children will learn when you do mistake and how you are handling this in a calmful way. They will not learn, okay, you will do 1 hour lecture, okay, do this, do that. They will learn what you are doing. If I am a housewife right now, after marriage, I left my job. I was into human resource, means I am an MBHR. So when I left my job, one day my child said, you are spending my father's money. So he thought that I am not earning, so my father is only earning. So how I handle that? No, all monies are, you can ask from your father that what I am doing. So as a couple, he said that no, your mother is doing what no mother can do. She's helping you and she's helping the other also in a positive way. How you are presenting your partner is also important. And how it is important for children? Children will also learn that how to respect a woman. Or when you respect your husband, they will learn how to respect a man. Tomorrow when they will create a family, they will learn things. And their children will also learn. So you are not helping right now, but you are helping to the generation to generation. So it is parents' responsibility to teach all these things. It comes under mindful parenting. Sometimes children feel that people are judging and my parents are judging. They don't go. Once one child came and he has some hurt here. I said, go to your parents and go to hospital. He said, no, my father will scold me. Where did you do that? I told you to walk slowly, to do this slowly, and he will beat me only. So this kind of things, if child is having, how can you think that they will be connected to you? And if you are thinking as a father that I will go to home and everyone will be silent, so if you're thinking I am a man that everyone in the house is scared of me, that you are not a man. You are a person with whom nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to love. Nobody wants to share your things with them. So don't be like that, father. So father and mother have very much responsibility to do all this mindful parenting. So, and to help your children, children are, nobody wants to do hard work, you know. If you ask your child to go play badminton, they will not go. They rather want to play video games or something. But how they will go when you will say let's go? And what my technique is, your mama don't know this, please help me. Then they will feel, oh, I know much better than my mama. And even my younger child, he was not able to write, and nobody else was able to help him in writing. Ma'am, he is not listening, he is writing one word and that's all. And what I am doing, this technique I am using, see, your mama don't know, you are writing so nicely, and I am becoming like I don't know anything. And stories also. And my habit, one thing that parents has to do, in till 6 year, vocabulary, you can increase your vocabulary of your child as much as you want, because they will learn so much. Children can learn 6 languages at a time. They have that much of capacity. So as much as vocabulary your child will learn, it is very important. And that is all about parenting. We should understand how we are dealing with our children.
Yeah, the thing is that
Your voice is not
whenever we are
coming.
speaking, whenever we are just doing some work, not only our kids, our parents, maybe our partners, maybe anyone, they'll be coming and talking to us. We'll be immediately like jerking something like, okay, don't disturb me. I'm just in a total work mode. Please do not disturb me. I'm totally busy. But the thing is that you have to make sure that, okay,
Yeah.
will just give me some 2 minutes. You can just request your manager to whomever you're just talking, go back to your child, go back to your partner, and you can just ask what is the concern they're just coming to you about, and you can just solve it in a very simple manner, and you can just again go with your calls. So everything, every communication actually starts with a simple gesture, like give me some time, a simple request. That's actually a great, powerful message which you are telling via this interview to the kids, or not only to the kids, but all to each and every people in the world. Of course, each and every conflict actually arises with a very simple kind of misunderstanding. Like, consider with your friends, consider with your relatives, consider with your office colleagues. They'll be thinking like, okay, I have approached them for their own good, but since they are busy, they're just rejecting me. They're not answering my phone calls. They're not answering to my messages. The thing is that they may be busy, because why they are not able to answer your phone calls, why they are not answering your messages. But once you get free, you can just call them, and you can just ask, forgive them. You can just ask sorry. Of course, asking sorry to your friends, asking sorry to your kids, it's not that much great thing. Like, no need to worry about your respect goes down. You have to make sure that we make a great bridge between our relationship. We make them calm, and we are just making them asking sorry, just to make sure that our relationship goes in a very healthy level, and they'll also be able to understand, okay, they really are in a very busy mode, and that's why they're not able to answer our calls. So I think that's a great message which you told to the society via this interview, not only to the kids, but also to the other members of the society. That's great, ma'am. So we have just spoke about different kind of concept relating parenting, relating mindful parenting, and mainly regarding the conflicts which arise between the kids, and also with the parents, with the disagreements, and how to actually solve it. So also tell us, ma'am, there will be a lot of developmental stages in which we should concentrate on our teenagers' life. So what will be that one development stage that you totally focus upon in order to upbring your child? So tell us about it, ma'am.
Okay, so if you're talking about developmental stages, there are like early childhood, and then it will come to mid-teen also. That is 15 to 17. So early childhood, now it will come, sorry, early teen. If you're talking about teen only, or shall I tell about all things?
You can tell about teen, ma'am, because only when you go to
Only about teen.
they'll be having a lot of conflicts, disagreements. So you can tell with the teens.
Okay. So honestly, when the child is entered into the teen, it is really difficult time, because hormonal changes, physical changes, emotional changes will happen, and this will happen automatically, and we will think that child is becoming rude, arrogant, he's not listening or something. But this is the phase where child is also struggling, and he is just trying to become independent. Hence, he is testing everything, how much I can test my boundaries and everything. So the first stage will be early stage, that is 11 to 14, and now I'll say from 10 to 14, because in teen is not starting from 13. Now if you see the 10-year-old child also, he is also asking questions like teens. You are not feeling that he is younger to teen. Earlier it used to be like when he will be in 13. Now the 10-year child is also asking, they have mood swing, and friendship is everything for them. They listen to their friend more than their parents. They think, you don't know my friend. No. One day one parent was telling me that my child is saying, it is not Virat Kohli, it is Virat Kohli. So his father said, "No, beta, I know that he is Virat Kohli." So he said, "No, no, my friend told me it is Kohli." So they believe on their friends so much than their parents. So they are trying to testing the their boundaries. They are thinking, they start thinking more critical. Emotional changes will happen, everything will be messy. Then this is the starting stage, and it can be controllable. But when they enter into the 15 to 17 year, that is called mid teenage, then it is they wanted to be more independent. Now they don't listen to you, whatever boundary they have set in the early teen, then they are just focusing on that, and they want to make their own choices. They push the boundaries, and they test their limits also. So it is very important at the time, parents should be so patient enough, because sometime when they are saying something which we are not liking and which is not good for them, we also feel that I'll slap them, I'll scold them, or something people does also. So it happens, one case came to me, one of my community friend only, who is also like I my mentors, he is also the same mentor, we are under same mentor. He said, Kashish, my girl is not listening to me, and she is comparing herself with her brother, and it is very difficult. She ran away from the house, she want to do some other course, and I have put her in that course, but she's spending money, and she's saying, you are spending on brother, not on me. There are such kind of comparison what is deeply incarnated with them, that comes because of in early age you did not tell them that we don't compare anyone, you give everything equal. You told them whenever they need, every time you are available, whether it is girl or boy, for both the children. I have seen many parents does, you are elder, then you can do this, let the younger one do that, and that creates the conflicts also. So certain kinds of things are running in the children brain, and it is developing slowly, and when they enter into the teenage, it is deeply incarnated in their mind and soul. So it will come out, and they start means they start back talking with the parents, they start arguing with the parents, and they are testing their limit to the core. So this is also very crucial time, 15 to 17, where parents has to be very much mindful. They have to use all the techniques here, because if you are not using, you are losing your child. And I know this situation will not come if you are taking care of a child in early childhood, because the mindset, 95% of mindset will become in 0 to 6 year. Have you seen, sometimes we do something subconsciously and we don't know when we have learned this. So that is the power of subconscious mind, because whatever we have done in early childhood, that is in our subconscious mind, and it will come out when the situation will come. So it suddenly come. My child was not like that. Suddenly he become arrogant. My child was very studious. Now he is not learning. That was always in your child, but you did not notice because you were not having time to talk to your child. And now, since everything is gone from your hand, and you are thinking that you can ask someone to rewire your child. When coming to the rewiring of child mind in teenage, it is really difficult for a parenting coach also, because they don't listen. That girl did not listen to me. Even they say rude words to the other adult also, and they feel, why should I talk about his child? Let them do. They are not my child. For our own children, we can do something, but for other children, if you are paying me high also, if the child is not respecting me, the parenting coach or any doctor also cannot do anything. So it is very important to be very mindful in the beginning of the childhood. So whatever is reflecting in teenage, it is the result of your early childhood. So mid teen is, I am thinking that it is very crucial, 15 to 17 year. Till 14 year you can try it, you can manipulate, you can tell. But 15 to 17 year they will not listen. They will choose their career themselves. Okay, in this also I can earn. You are saying just go for IIT or something, and they are saying no, I can be hairdresser. My friend is hairdresser and he is doing very great. So what you will say? In IIT, how some person will crack IIT who is thinking of hairdresser? And this doesn't comes one day. It is from so long. If you want your child to be IIT, tell you can do anything of your passion. Just crack this test. I want you to be like you can do things. Then you can do your passion. You do your engineering from India because it is really tough than other country. Do this, then you can do your passion. I am okay with that. I am satisfied. Give option. Don't say no. I said you have to go into the IIT, but your child is not interested. If you want to be a hairdresser, okay. You want to be a hairdresser, I'll send you myself. But you crack this thing, then only I'll think that you can do anything in this. So late teen is 18 to 19 year. That is a big move. It depends upon like 11 to 14 what has happened, 15 to 17 what has happened. Everything will reflect there. It depends upon parents' luck what they have done during those years. So a crucial year you have to be mid-teen, 15 to 17 as per me.
Yeah.
So you have to be very emotionally, social life, how is their social life, how's their body language, what kind of friends they have. It is very important. You have to be very, very careful in terms of in teenage also, because children are shoulder to shoulder. Na? So you should accept their opinion also. You should say sorry also. You should be very empathetic to understand their situation. You should be very open-minded to discuss any kind of adult related things also with them. Don't be shamed ki she's my girl, how can I talk to her? You should tell everything to your girl that this in this way you can save yourself. This is the things what is happening. Everything you can discuss as an with your teen. So it is very important, rather than getting information from outside, your child is getting information at home also only. Because if your child is not getting information, they will take from outside, which can be harmful. If your child is not getting love at home, they go and seek love outside, and that cannot be every time good. Okay, it can be harmful also. So better to give everything to your child at home so that they will not seek those things outside. And especially in teen is a crucial things. 15 to 17 year, you should be very, very careful.
That's okay. That's a well message which you tell to the society. Whatever, if we give love, affection, care, time to our kids in our home, then our kids will not be trying to find it outside. That's a great thing, ma'am. So one final question for this interview is very simple, ma'am. Via this interview, if you want to tell any kind of message to the society who are watching this interview right now, so what kind of message would you like to tell to the people, ma'am?
Okay, for the society, especially mothers, I wanted to tell now this is for every person in the society, whether they are parents, whether a mother or maybe the grandparents and everyone. First of all, it is very important to give the opportunity to handle the children to mother and parents, especially because sometimes I have seen society is quietly so much involved in that. They pressurize the parents that do the things in that way. And people should forget the old parenting system because that is not working right now. And if your child is having problem, then do not feel shame to get some help. Maybe you are not able to handle, maybe some person who can help you at the right time. Do not miss the milestone of your child because of that you think that, oh, I am also a parent, I can do. There are certain things I cannot do, maybe other parent or other coach can do. So I request to the people, those who have problem, open up, ask question, uh, become a member of a community where like-minded people are there, rather than bitching all the time. Ladies are sitting and bitching here and there. That will not give them anything. Rather than focus on your children, and if you have some issues, just join the like-minded communities where every mothers are sharing their opinion, every parents are sharing their opinion, experts are sharing their opinion. Read the articles, understand the milestone of your child, because when we work as an IT engineer, we have projects, right? So people think I am into very tough project at all. Your toughest project is your children. And if you are able to handle this, even if you have less money, you have a small house, you will be the most successful person in this world. But if you have lots of money, lots of property, big houses, but your child is not successful, you cannot do anything. And many parents, those who are saying that I have earned that much that my 3 generation can eat, or my 1 generation, I can serve my child myself. You can serve your child, he will become a couch potato. His lackadaisical approach will always be there, but what message he will give to his family later? When you are not in this world, what message he will give to their family? The thing which you have earned, the materialistic thing, that will end one day. But the knowledge, the message, the legacy which you have created, that will last for long. For example, I'm writing book. I am author of 2 books, and third I am going to be launched soon, means published soon. That is related to the girls only. These are my books. You can see here the 2 books. So these are the legacy for your children, what you are leaving, not other than property and money, what you are leaving as a legacy, where your children can see, this is of my mommy, this is of my dad. See, house and materialistic thing anybody can earn, but what positive thing you are giving to your child so that they can give to their generation, that is very important. So every parent should think that, give time to your children, and this is the most important thing, that children don't need a perfect, rich parents. They need a present parents.
That was a great message by you to the society. Whatever things that you wanted to pass to your generation, give them in the terms of knowledge. That's a very wonderful thing that one parent can give to the child. That's a very wonderful message which you are doing to the society, ma'am. So people who are watching this interview, please do subscribe to our Women Today YouTube channel. If you have any doubts related to parenting and teenage coach, our Kashish Sandhu ma'am is there in Bangalore. She will be that happy to help you out. I'll mention her Instagram link in the YouTube description in this interview video. So you can just have a message, have a conversation, and you can just deal with the services. She is right now in Bangalore. She is doing both online and offline kind of things. So thank you, Kashish Sandhu ma'am, for accepting to host me in this interview, and you being a guest in this interview. That was a very wonderful conversation. And people who are having any doubts, you can just comment in the comment section, and you can also kind of have a conversation with Kashish Sandhu ma'am. So thank you once again, ma'am. Good evening. Have a nice day, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.